Welcome to Aroused, the podcast that teaches you how to reclaim your sexuality and how to significantly increase the passion and pleasure in your life. If you're determined to have a breakthrough in your love life, then this show is for you. I'm relationship, dating, and sex expert Samantha Pop, and I'm stoked to have you join me on this journey. Don't forget to leave a 5-star rating review if you love this episode. Today, we are going to talk about 5 secrets to the greatest relationship. And I ultimately like to think about these as 5 ingredients. Anything that you're trying to make, whether it's a cake or a stir fry, there's each different ingredient that takes part in a dish to make it wonderful when it comes out. So we're going to be going over the secrets and the ingredients to the greatest relationship. Are you ready? Number 1, flirt with each other every day. This is one thing that I see in couples that are together for a long time is that they stop flirting. You almost forget to flirt with your partner. Just think back to the beginning of your relationship. What kind of things did you do to flirt with your partner? If you're a dude, did you grab her butt? If you're a woman, even I've grabbed my partner's butt as a woman and I'm like, yeah, that's looking plump today. Or telling him, oh, you look so good in that shirt. Oh, you look so sexy. There's so many different ways to flirt with your partner and to make them feel good, because ultimately when your partner was flirting with you at the beginning of the relationship and you were into them, of course, or you wouldn't be with them today, it made you feel good, right? And I'm not talking about those stupid, corny pickup lines, unless that is what you and your partners think. And no judgments here, because I've even had my partner do dad jokes or weird pickup lines, and it makes me laugh. It makes me smile. So even if it's something so ridiculous and that's your thing, stick to it, because you can never flirt with your partner too much. And I want to encourage you to find at least one way to flirt with your partner this week. That is going to be part of your homework from today's podcast. So I would love to hear from you later on what you thought of the homework, and if you did it, how did it go? Because I love giving homework to my clients, and even as a student myself, I love getting homework, telling the coach or whoever's running the course or whatever it is what I did and showing my work. And it's actually going to make it easier for you to actually go and do it, because girl, you got homework. Go do that homework. Number 2, never stop trying to win over your partner. So this kind of goes along with number 1, but in the sense that remember at the beginning of your relationship when either it was you or your partner, they were trying to impress you, to win over your heart. Whether they were driving a big lifted truck or they dressed really nice, they held themselves really well, they are a business owner and they're like, yeah, I have a successful business, or I'm a successful executive at this company. Whatever it is, I built this, I go camping, and I do all these things. Here's pictures of where I've been, and they're trying to impress you. When you're in a relationship later on, then you find that you stop trying to impress them, because once you start dating or you get married, you have kids, and you're like, this is it. This is the person that I'm going to be with. A lot of people stop trying. I've seen this in so many different relationships. I've seen this in my own relationships with my one partner. We were together for, a couple years, and, he thought that just because we were together that he didn't have to try anymore. He didn't have to, take me out and do fun things with me. It's not always about spending money, because you can literally pick up or make a picnic and go to a park with a blanket and go have a picnic. It doesn't have to cost you a lot of money to go do something with your partner. It's all about the effort. You don't have to spend a ton of money to do something with your partner or do something for them to show them that you love them. And ultimately trying to impress them, still say, hey, I'm still this great person that, you chose to be with, and I want to show you that I'm still that great person that you decided to stay with and build a life with. So you want to remind them that it's yeah, I'm this amazing person. I don't want to lose you. I want to put in the effort to keep you because you're my person. Number 3 is speak each other's love languages. And if you've never heard of love languages before, there are the common 5, but as I have continued to do work with my clients with these 5 love languages, I have actually discovered that there's 2 more. So there's technically 7 love languages. What they are is acts of service, quality time, words of affirmation, physical touch, receiving gifts, as well as freedom and teamwork. So the two new ones are freedom and teamwork because, I just found that there was something lacking in the first 5. I'm like, it's missing something. But those are the 7 love languages. And if you don't know what yours is, or you don't know what your partner's is, it's very simple. But I just want to give you a heads up that your love language or love languages may not be the same as your partner's. So, for example, my love languages are physical touch, quality time, and acts of service. So I have 3 love languages that are like the 3 main ones, and teamwork is my 4th one. Of course, there is a piece of all of them that do work for me, but the 4 main ones are teamwork, physical touch, quality time, and acts of service. When I was figuring out what mine were, I asked my partner, hey, do you know what your love language is? My partner being like, I don't know. And he's not someone that was super in tune with his emotions. So I had to kind of dig this out of him, be like, hey, well, this is what this one is, and this is what this one is. So I'm like, which one do you think that your love language is? And he's like, oh, mine's quality time. That's totally what mine is. I'm like, okay, great. So these are what mine are. Mine are physical touch, quality time, acts of service, and teamwork, and yours is quality time. So a way that I can speak his love language is, sitting with him watching a hockey game, a football game, cooking together, going for a walk together with my dog, like quality time like that. Or also having deep conversations. Both my partner and I, we are huge Star Wars fans. So we were talking all these different theories and stuff about Star Wars, especially with the new Mandalorian series on Disney Plus, and talking about it. That's a way for me to speak his love language and quality time, is to have those deep conversations. And especially now that he has gone back to the US for school to finish up his last year of school, then having those deep conversations is really going to nurture his love language while we're away. And so with my love languages, acts of service were, helping me do stuff or doing things for me that either I did ask for or he just did himself. Quality time is, spending that quality time together that, even though I'm not like a huge football fan or anything, I would still sit there with him, and because I wanted to spend time with him. And physical touch, it's not always sexual. As much as I've said, as much as I am a very sexual woman having a high sex drive, it's not always about the sexual physical touch that I'm needing. It's, that hug from behind, the forehead kisses, holding my hand. Like, it can be those types of intimate physical touch that get my love language feeling fulfilled. And so with the last one, teamwork, at least for me, I love it when we do things together. So even acts of service kind of coincides with this a little bit, but because I do kind of work with both of them. And with teamwork, it's working together as a team and figuring out how we can solve a problem that we are facing. It's not about like him and I versus each other. It's him and I versus the problem. Or, I remember last year when I ordered my vanity and I'm like, oh, you're an engineer. You can help me build it. And he's like, okay. So working together and building my vanity, even though there was some swearing, because I'm sure you have done that yourself, whether you're building something from IKEA or whatever it is, there is some swearing involved if, you don't follow the directions properly or it doesn't go the way that you think. But working together and doing that teamwork of building my vanity really fulfilled my love language, and doing things like that together. So if you don't know what your love language is, go through all of these: acts of service, quality time, words of affirmation, physical touch, receiving gifts, freedom, and teamwork, and figure out which one really speaks to you, which one makes you feel good. Like acts of service, if they do the dishes and you're like, yes, love you. Quality time, just, having deep conversations, going on walks together. Words of affirmation, them telling that, they love you, that you look good in that dress. Physical touch, we touched on that already, and it doesn't always have to be sexual. Receiving gifts, and it doesn't always have to cost a ton of money. It doesn't have to be like this crazy Dyson vacuum that costs $600. Like he just brings you home nuggets and fries from coming home from work. Like that can be receiving a gift. And you're like, yes, I love you. you, or when you guys are at the gas station and he brings you a drink back when he goes to pay for fuel or whatever it is. And then freedom is, having the trust within both of you so that you can both go do your own things without having misunderstandings. And it's like, oh, I can go hang out with the girls and, you can go hang out with the guys, and we trust each other to have that freedom to go hang out with our own friends that we don't have mutual friends with. And then teamwork, like I said, have you ever built something with your partner before and you really enjoy that experience and working together? Really find out what your love language is, and then find out what your partner's love language is as well. Because like I said, they may or may not be like yours, and don't assume that they are. You need to ask them, hey, these are the 7 love languages. I can explain them, or we can, go through them and tell me which one speaks your love language for you. What tells you I love you in one of these versions of the love language. It's really that simple. Number 4, date night once a week. This is a recommendation because I know every couple is going to be in a different situation, whether your partner works shifts and they go away for a couple weeks and come back, or they leave for several months and come back, or if you live with your partner, most of the time and they may or may not travel sometimes during the year. But for the most time, you are together most of the time. And with this, it's really a recommendation and it's a suggestion because what works for you. And I know for some of my clients, they can do date night once a week because they live together in the same house, they work in the same city, they don't travel a lot for work, so they are able to do this compared to other couples that I've worked with when one partner, they go away for a few weeks and they go work in a rural area and they're not home for a month. Or, some people that I've worked with and they're in the military, or their partner is, and they go away for 6 to 9 months of the year or longer depending. So this comes down to what your situation is and how often you can do a date night. And if you're the person that's thinking right away, Sam, I can't afford to do date night 4 times a month with my partner, I'm going to tell you right now that it doesn't have to cost you a lot of money and you can do it. You can spare at least 2 to 3 hours a week for a date night, and it doesn't have to cost a lot of money depending where you live, and the weather that you have is going to differentiate with what kind of date nights that you can do. But if it's nice out, go have a picnic. Take groceries from your house and make food, whether it's together or one person does it. You take a blanket and you go to the park and have a picnic. That can be your date night. There are other more reasonable options, whether you go to a cheap movie theater. You can go for a drive, stop in a rural area that's, not a lot of traffic, and you can stargaze together. All you need is your vehicle and gas in it in order to get there and back. And you just stash it with tons of pillows and blankets, and you can have your favorite drink. Bring a can of whatever is your favorite drink, preferably not alcohol if you're driving, and stargaze for hours. It doesn't have to be super expensive. And even if both of you are introverts, do date night in. You don't have to go out, even though, of course, I encourage people to go out and experience sunshine and get out into nature. But if that's not feasible for you, or you're just not into that, then do date night at home when you dress up for supper and cook an amazing dinner, or you do movie night in. There's so many different options, and take these examples to put your own fun spin on it to create your perfect date night with your partner. So homework number 2, when are you going to book your next date night? And how often is it going to be? Is it going to be once a week? Is it going to be twice a month? Is it going to be once a month? And, you don't ever have to justify to me why those are. If you want to share them with me, I would love to hear them. But you don't ever have to justify them. Be like, Sam, we can only do it once a month because, they're gone for work all the time. Hey, I don't need to hear it. As long as you make it known with you and your partner, hey, we're doing date night once a month because this is what works best for us with you being gone. And, this is what we're going to do. This is the plan. Beautiful. Love it. But you don't ever have to justify to me if you ever share, oh, we're doing this. No. That's none of my business. You just need to make sure that you are making the right decision for you and your partner in your relationship. Number 5, have sex on a regular basis. The reason that this one doesn't have a interval in it, like the previous one, like having date night once a week, is, it's going to go back to that same thing. And it's a suggestion, it's a recommendation that, what is having sex on a regular basis for you and your partner, depending on your living situation or your career situation. Can you have sex, once a week? I've seen several studies done, and, very common is having sex once a week is when couples feel, very fulfilled in their sex life. And I'm not going to say that, having sex once a week is going to be fulfilling for you or your partner, but having sex at least once a week is going to be more fulfilling than having sex once a month. And hear me out, because, even if your partner isn't there with you most of the time, you can still have sex with yourself. Invest in your own toy. And if you have never used self-pleasure before, ooh, girl, I really, really encourage you to do so, because it is transformational. No doubt that you seriously need to explore self-pleasure for a variety of reasons. And I'm not even going to go into all of them today, but, you deserve to have orgasms too. And this is the number one thing. If your partner's not around all the time, then, you deserve to have orgasms too. He's probably, doing his thing when he's away, because, that's what men do, is they jerk off. But women, we need to have that pleasure too, even if they're not around. So make sure that you are having sex on a regular basis. Whether it's with your partner when they're home or when they're away, you're having sex with yourself. And make this a common thing that you do on a regular basis. If you are the person that is like, Sam, yeah, we can do it once a week, whether it's with kids or work or whatever is in our way, these obstacles, but I want more. Hey, have a conversation with your partner. Hey, I would really love to talk to you about our sex life and how we can improve it. And, I would really love to have sex with you more than once a week. What do you think? And you can really start it that easily. Or if you're just not ready to have that conversation yet, then use self-pleasure to your advantage and make sure that you are still getting the orgasms that you want. So we have gone over the 5 secret ingredients to a great relationship. And just to do a quick recap, number 1, flirt with each other every day. Never, ever stop this. I still flirt with my partner, and, he's a 15-hour drive away. Like, he does not live close to me, but we still flirt with each other and do the things. And we've been together for over a year now, but we never stop flirting with each other and being playful like that. Number 2, never stop trying to win over your partner. Yes, still try to impress them and remind them, hey, I'm this amazing person you chose to be with. So yeah, I'm just trying to remind you that I'm amazing and you're amazing too. And we made the right decision to be in a relationship. Still trying to impress them and do things with them and for them. 3, speak each other's love languages. So out of the 7, what's your love language and what's theirs? Because it might not be the same as yours. Number 4, having date night once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month, whatever fits your situation with you and your partner. Number 5, have sex on a regular basis. Figure out what that is, what that looks like. And, do you need more? Do you need less? What makes you fulfilled and what makes your partner fulfilled as well? Because relationships are a two-way street and both of you should feel good about your sex life and being fulfilled in that. Okay, so now it's your turn. Which one was your favorite tip? Let me know by leaving a 5-star review. Hey love, what was your golden nugget from today's episode? Let me know by tagging the Arouse Podcast on Facebook or Twitter. And don't forget to grab my latest freebie. Head to the show notes and get the link. If there's a topic you'd love for me to cover in my next episode, let me know by emailing samanthapopcoaching@gmail.com. I'll see you next time.